Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Scully.
Yeah. Patience is a skill.
Yeah.
You
ready for this energy?
Take.
Early flight to Miami, Uber black to the paddy, hit me with the Addy, Sly Spitta, no it can't be, and I got a sweet bitch, nigga, that's on my candy, I drop juice when I let a verse off, kill a game, then let the hearse off, that humble shit is out the window, play it safe and you worse off, bet against me, you're worst off, I feel like Pablo, touching pesos like I'm in Cabo, the pendulum swings, that's a hollow, when I wasn't up, I had a hollow, how did I know you niggas hollow, catch me never could, Brooklyn nigga straight to Hollywood. Every yell came from making sure a motherfucker good. Now I wish a motherfucker would. Real shit. I took real slick. Rather die before I quit. Shooting my shot. And if I miss, run and grab the rebound quick. 24 on the
Kobe.
Cool nigga but the block hot. Cooking up in the crock pot. Turn the whip into a hot box. Ball hard and we don't flop. Apply pressure. Niggas front, that's a big cap. All that talk but no impact. When I talk, it's a big fact. You and me, that's a mismatch. All my shit, nigga, intact. A little pressure, man, they been cracked. Full of color, but I been black. Free of mind, niggas been trapped. Full of ammo, niggas been strapped. In case a nigga wanna get clapped. God's gift, man, I been rapped. What's a race when you been lapped? Slow down, dog, you been lacked. 100 in my big pack. Stick ain't move, they wanna distract. Minus if I made your comeback. You and me, there's a big gap. 100 miles to be exact. 100 on me to be exact. You lose 100, never did slack. 100 ways I could get that, nigga. I talk real slick, rather die before I quit. Shooting my shots, and if I miss, run and grab the rebound quick. 24 on the shot clock. Cool nigga, but the block hot. Cooking up in the crock pot. Turn the whip into a hot box. Ball hard and we don't flop. Apply pressure, man, we don't pop.
Pressure me down.
Yeah.
If you tryna party and celebrate life, tune in the next sound studio tonight. It's live at 8 with the hottest in the state. So tell a friend you wanna take them out of space so they can unplug to a new level. With different artists who take it to a new level. And you never know what you gon' get. And you never know what you gon' get. You might get rock or you might get rap. You might get R&B with the boom bap. You might get a band or you might wanna dance bachata. I just know every week's gon' be a shocker. And it's a party for the world. For little boys, little girls. For everybody. If you came to party. If you came to party. If you came to get down. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Going live tonight. Live from the next town. Studio.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Mr. Sly Spitta, your host for tonight. I'm so glad to be here live at Next Sound Studios, and I hope you enjoyed my opening performance of Shot Clock. By now, you already know the vibes. I'm here to pass on the torch to another group of amazing artists. Tonight's episode features 3 talented individuals, 3 unique voices. I know you're going to enjoy it. So let's welcome the first of these artists to the stage. He brings to the industry his own musical genre, rhythm and gospel. This beautifully infuses his natural church boy upbringing with his love of hip-hop. Terrell T-Rex Simon began touring with major artists and after started sharing the stages with some of the biggest names, including Wyclef Jean, Mario, and many others. T-Rex started managing artists like Life Jennings, and while mentoring and developing other talents, he made TV appearances such as Jimmy Kimmel, GMA, David Letterman, Jay Leno, and you can't forget 106 in Park. Our director was pleased to sit down with him and find out more about him and his musical path right here live at Next Sound Studio stage. Let's take it to Will to find out a little more about Terrell T-Rex Simon, followed by his performance.
It's me, Will B. Walker, back again, sitting with Terrell T-Rex Simon. He's the man of the hour. We're gonna jump right into it. He has created his own genre of music. So let's talk a little bit about R&G and what R&G is, and tell us about any adversities that you may come across within creating your own genre of music.
Actually, you know what? I actually thought that when I started this, that I would come up with like a lot of negative energy about it. But I think Kirk Franklin bore the cross for all of us. He really did that for us.
Well, first tell us, what is R&G?
Hip hop gospel, basically, is why I said Kirk Franklin, because R&G is nothing new. It's not something has already been done. This is what my version of it is, and I think that when you know who you are and you're confident who you are, you just have your own thing. And that's kind of what R&G is. It's rhythm and gospel. It's my love of hip hop, gospel, jazz, and all of these things mixed into one. And not necessarily targeting the church audience. You know, my music is really pretty much more targeting. I think there's enough music in the church, but people that don't go to church, that never said they listen to gospel music, listen to my music. The reason why I want to do R&G is because I didn't want to be put into a box when I came out with my music. I have been in the music business for a long time. Coming out, working with Life and all of these guys in the R&B business and doing gospel, I just wanted to mix the two.
When did you know that you wanted to do this?
Since I was a kid and started going to church, and I started singing in the church, and that's where it started.
Okay.
And I was like, as I got older, I was like, okay, I can make a living off of this. This is what I want to do.
So I know that you have worn many hats within the industry. Just talk to us a little bit about some of the hats that you worn and how that helped to create and cultivate your artistry.
So I got in the music business being a background singer for Life Jennings. And then from just being in the business and meeting different people, then I got a chance to sing background for Neo. Then from Neo, I met Mario. Then I was doing shows with Mario, and then it kind of just started going from person to person to person to person to person. So that's how I got in the business. But then, like, I think working with Life so close, because I was his background singer, but he was also like my brother. So, and he didn't have many people around him. So like when he would go to meetings and he would be looking over his radio stuff and whatever he was doing, I was always right there, looking at him, learning, knowing everything. So that's how like I started getting into the business side of it, because I was Life's assistant. He said, you should be my assistant. And then I said, okay. That was the hardest job ever, being somebody's assistant. Like, you don't have a job setting. It's whatever is needed.
You have to do.
Assistant! You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got started into that. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I got a couple hookups. I should get some more artists. I started working with this guy named Shalik, who's an R&B artist. Big up to Shalik. Then I started working behind the scenes with like a lot of different artists. And I guess being an artist is just something else that I was supposed to do. But all that other stuff I love too. I still love promoting artists, and I still do that to this day.
Let's go on to your performances when you perform live at Next Sound Studio. A couple of the tracks that you performed were off of your EP, number 8. So let's talk about number 8, and then also the songs that you chose to perform off of that EP.
You know a lot about me. So 8. So it's weird. Like I started having these premonitions and things about the number 8. Everywhere I was going, I was seeing 888. Big up to Ali Caldwell, who was on The Voice, great friend of mine. Me and her had met up one time.
Voice is amazing.
And she was having the same thing about 8s. And this was like a time when I was getting ready to become an artist, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna finally put out my own music. And I talked to somebody else, and then the number 8. And I'm not like a number person. I'm not like, you know, there's a lot of people that are into numbers. I'm really not that. And then I looked up the number 8, and it said New Beginnings. And I was like, you know what? This is the perfect title to call my EP, because being an artist, this is a new beginning, because for so long, I should have did it and I didn't did it for whatever reasons, it just didn't happen. New beginnings. My first EP, In His Image, was the first single that we put off. And the reason why I chose In His Image is because I wanted to put out a record about God that was kind of like universal, that everybody would love. No matter who you are, what you do, you know, white, black, hood, not hood, church. I said, I need one of those records that's about God, but that is universal, that everybody gonna love it, everybody's gonna sing it, and we got In His Image.
Well, you heard him talk about it. We're about to see him perform it. We're gonna take it to the studio where he performed In His Image. We'll be back with you, all right?
He made the earth, he made the stars, he made the moon, he made the sun, he made the animals, then he made us. Oh, us. Never ever will I say that I can't conquer a certain thing, because God made me in his image, said that he giveth me dominion over the earth. That's why I'm living like I own the air that I breathe, like I own the fish in the sea. And it's my responsibility to show that with God we can do anything. He made. Come on, y'all, put your hands together. He made. God made. He made. He made me in his image. He made me in his image. He made me in his image. So I believe I can do anything. Oh, he made me in his image. God made me, yeah. He made. So I believe I can do anything. Listen, everybody at home, this is what you gotta do right here. First thing we gotta do in the morning, before we catch ourselves slipping, stand still, let go, let God. Then we're living like we own the air that I breathe, like I own the fish in the sea. And it's my responsibility, yeah, yeah. He made. God made y'all. He made, yes he did. He made me in his image. God made me in his image. He made me in his image. So I believe I can do anything. Hey, he made me. Oh yes he did. God made. So I believe I can do anything. Hey, listen y'all, cause I will never fear, cause I know God will deliver to me like he did Moses' enemy, so he could go out and win over the land he ordained. And again, so I'm gonna live like I own the air that I breathe, like I own the fish and the sea. And it's my responsibility, yeah. God made. He made. God made. He made. He made. He made. He made. He made. He made. Yes, he did. He made you in his image. He made me
hope you enjoyed that performance of In His Image. We'll hear more from him later. The words to describe this next artist: sultry, soulful, textured, and most importantly, organic. Performing with well-versed, disciplined musicians throughout her career and having an eclectic sonic palette of her own, Ramona Montanez was pushed to create quality music and a sound all its own: the new wave soul. She's currently creating her own waves through the New York City music scene as she's performed for Queen's Pride and showcased her music throughout New York. We're happy to have her bless the stage and enjoy her performing the singles from her upcoming album, Rootin' for the Underdog. Let's take it to Will to find out more about Ramona and her musical platform.
Here we are, sitting here with Ramona Montanez. She is the lady of the moment. We're just gonna get a little in-depth personal, have a conversation with her. Let's just start the conversation off since it's all about the music. I wanna know, what does music mean to you?
It's my salvation. It's literally what wakes me up. It helps me go to sleep. It helps me function throughout the day. And honestly, if I didn't have music, I don't think I'd be alive, to be honest. And it's really what helps me get through the roughest times of my life and the best times of my life. So it's there for every part that's important in the journey of life.
And when did you know that you wanted to become an artist? What was that process like for you?
Oh, goodness. I think it was when I saw Mary J. Blige coming down the steps in her Reminisce video. And I said, oh my, I want to do that. And I think the way I connected with her, and because I've always been influenced by music from my family, I just knew it was always there. That fire has always been inside of me to make music, or at least to be in the arts. But music was always pulling me and saying, come on, you're with me, you're my friend. So
as you became an artist, tell us a little bit about your background and your experiences singing.
Wow, it's been a long journey, honestly. I started out doing wedding bands and cover bands, and that gave me a lot of experience on the stage, and it gave me the time to prepare myself and mold myself and shape myself into the artist I am today, to be able to get on a stage and connect with people and to just be human in the experience. And also at the same time, be able to leave the experience for a moment and have this out of body experience with singing. And just, it's just been a long journey with singing. And then when I wanted to become an artist for real, I was in my bedroom. I think I was either listening to Stevie Wonder or Nas, one of the two. And that's when I wrote my first song. And I said, okay, I'm gonna give this a try. Because I always knew I wanted to be independent and I wanted to remain true to myself. So I started writing and I said, okay, I'm just gonna do it and hope for the very best and hope that it touches people and hope that people can connect to the music. So that was the most important thing for me along the way.
So I know that you are an incredible musician and artist.
Thank you so
and
much.
I want you to tell us a little bit about your studio process, what that process is like. I know it's very organic and you like everything to be organic. So talk to us a little bit about why that is important to you.
It is important for many, many reasons. To me, an album is the reference point you're always gonna have for an artist. You know, we don't always get to see our favorite artist in concert or live. So when you have an album, that's gotta be really good for me to put it out in the world, at least for in my opinion. So when I go to the studio, I wanted to have a really strong energy of enjoyment, of passion and enlightenment, honestly. When musicians come into a room together and they begin the pulse of the song, something happens, and I always love being in it. It's an honor. So although people who listen to the music, they can say, oh, I hear that, you know what I mean? You can hear that the musicians are having a good time. But when I'm doing it and I'm involved in it, that's something that's very, very personal. And it's inexplicable. And it is euphoric.
And
wherever it's
from
gonna
going
go.
to the studio and being very organic, how does that transfer to when you perform on stage? Is it two totally different vibes?
It is. It is. I just in general, by nature, I'm a more reserved person. I'm pretty quiet. The ones I love would say otherwise, because I love them. But yeah, I tend to just like to be within myself and create very quietly and very privately. And when I'm on stage, I'm the lioness, and I get to be imperfect, and that's okay. Because like I said, in the studio, that's your reference point. So things have to be a bit more in tune. So I have to do things over and over again because I'm not necessarily a fan of auto tuning, but I'll do it if I have to. But on stage, if I go a little flat, it is what it is. If I go a little sharp, it is what it is. I'm human. I'm not the perfect singer. I know that. What it is about music is just that I enjoy doing it. I love doing it. It comes from a really affectionate place. So the stage for me is a bit like second home in a sense. I can leave for a little bit, again, have that outer body experience, but also I can see faces that are enjoying it. And sometimes I don't get to see anyone's face, and I can be in a zone and just let the world hear it. And
Well,
if they're okay
speaking
with it,
of
that's okay.
letting the world hear it and being in that zone, let's talk about some of the music that you performed live at Next Sound Studio. When I Close My Eyes. It's a lot going on in that brain of yours. Let's talk about the writing process behind that. Is love somewhere? What's going on in that? What are we thinking about?
Actually, no, it's not. And I want the listener to decide what that song means for them. Love will always be at the core of everything that I do. So, yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. But the message is actually not about love. And that's why my art is so important to me, because I want to connect with people through their humanity. And it's not just about love. We feel anger. We feel loss. We feel death. We experience all these different things that sometimes I feel is not talked about enough in music. So I feel that it's, I guess, on my place to do it for me. And if people enjoy it, then yeah. But with When I Close My Eyes, I always say this. When you are smelling something amazing, you oftentimes close your eyes, right? When you have that special moment with somebody, whatever that may be, you tend to close your eyes. If you're cooking something, you close your eyes. And it's just that split second in your life that you're savoring this moment and your eyes close. And that's the beauty of this song, that there's so many components of this song that you get to experience. If you want to close your eyes and listen to it, go right ahead and take yourself on a experience like no other. I want it to be a very strong contrast in the song. As you can hear, you go from one energy to a very different energy. And that's kind of what life is. There's this ebb and flow of push and go. That's why I wrote When I Close My Eyes. I think I was experiencing this ebb and flow of life. I think the things that have gone on throughout my life have been this consistent, wash ashore, go back, and that's what I wanted to write about. And I hope people enjoy it. I hope they still enjoy it.
We did, and they will.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All the time. Check her out performing When I Close My Eyes right here live, Next Sound Studio.
Yeah.
We can but we just do what we like. We don't know which way to go. Leaving me no room to grow. I want to be free. I don't care where you come from. So don't care where I've been. Yeah, you don't know the situations that I've been in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could think I'm this or that. See this life as white or black. All these things we think we know. Living with no room to flow. Oh, I want to be free. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank you for having me. My name is Ramona Montanez, not Martinez. And you can connect with me. Love on me, because I'm going to love on you right back. At Music X Mona, everywhere. And I hope you enjoyed tonight, because I did. Be safe. When I close my eyes, I'm flying high, nothing holding me back. When I close my eyes, I feel alive, no need to watch my back. When I close my eyes, I'm flying high, holding me back. When I close my eyes, I feel alive, no need to watch my back. When I close my eyes, I'm flying high, nothing holding me back. When I close my eyes, I feel alive, no need to watch my back.
Woo! Ramona, you blessed us. You bodied the stage. Thank you. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on any of these performances. We got more to hear from her later. But first, let me introduce the next performer of the evening, David Sosa. He's a New York-based singer-songwriter, and from a young age, he was introduced to music stylings such as opera, jazz standards, and Broadway that allowed him to build an eclectic taste and give multi-genre musical performances. David's album, Journey to Love, was released last year with a debut on iTunes Top 100 R&B #3. Wow. We're eager to see what he has brought to the stage here, live at Next Sound Studios. He's here with our director. Let's check him out.
Once again, I'm Will B. Walker, sitting here with David Sosa. We're gonna get right into it and just ask him, when did you know that you wanted to be a singer?
I probably was around 7 or 8 years old, and I was listening to Mariah Carey, Love Takes Time video. And I was watching her walk down this beach or whatever, and she was just singing, and just the sounds that were coming from her mouth, I was like, I want to do this. Like, I want to sing. I want to produce sounds like this. And I just became inspired by that. And, just listening to music from then on, I think around that time was what? En Vogue, Shy, H-Town. I was listening to so many different types of R&B music that was out. And I'm a musical household, so my father always had the milk crates with the vinyls. So we were listening to all the old school music, the OJs, Delphonics, Stylistics, and all that. So I just heard such a variety of music always. And it was part of my daily life. I was cleaning to that music. I was going to sleep to that music, waking up to that music. And so it was constantly there, and I was constantly singing along with it. I finally was always, in the shower singing, woke up singing. I still do. So it's just, I knew music was in me. It was something that was so prevalent in my spirit and in my being that I just did it. So, but I would say as early as 7 or 8 was probably the first time I was like, yeah, I want to do this thing.
Okay, so when you knew that, how did you begin to cultivate, when you actually want to become an artist, how did you cultivate your artistry?
My father was really instrumental in the beginning for getting me started in the music, because he was like, if you really want to sing and you obviously have this gift, then you should learn how to sing correctly. So I don't know how he got in contact, but he wound up finding me a vocal coach in Long Island. And, once a week would drive me over there. She was like 80-year-old woman who was amazing, like woke up in a muumuu and like played this piano. Like she was really grand and old, and she had worked off of Broadway like her whole life. So she had a lot of acclamation and knew about the stars and how to sing on Broadway and like singing to the back of the room. So her first thing to teach me was like how to support yourself, your diaphragm, sing out, no microphone needed. Like what do you do to get to the back of the room and be correct about it so that you're not hurting your voice. So I learned a lot of that through like show tunes and music like that, a lot of the Broadway music. Shortly after that, going to high school and middle school, there were competitions for state and county and all that. So I would obviously go into that. So I had to learn opera. I had to learn opera pieces and learn how to sing from that place, and then learn standard jazz pieces and learn how to sing from that place, scat and improvisation. So it just became a thing of, I just kept growing the gift. I kept on not only listening to the radio and mimicking and trying to figure out like what my sound is, but just making sure the craft itself and the gift and how to nurture that. So luckily I had the parents who were helping me along the way as well, that support,
That's good. So tell us a little bit about some of your performing experiences, and some good and then later maybe bad performance experiences that you've had.
Bad performance experiences.
Well, we'll start with the good first. You can start with the good first.
I think for me,
memorable.
The memorable ones? No, I think for me, I still have those moments. I want to say I take the gift for granted. I think there's moments where I just forget it's a gift. It's something that's almost every day to me. Like it's just what I do, who I am. So those rare moments, I think, where I am singing and I'm really singing from a place, and to look out into the audience and see someone really visibly affected by what I'm singing about. Whether they are crying or whether they're super happy or whether they're just like enraptured and just like looking at me like whatever. I'm like, wow, this is the power of music, like the ministry of music, to move, energy in people and to make them feel things. And so anytime I have those performances, which I've had people come to me afterwards and be like, you moved something in me, like I want to try my relationship again, or I'm getting over this relationship and I needed to hear that song and I needed to hear it now, like these words and this way. So things like that, I think, are always the highlights of performances, not so much like how technically good I sounded or whatever. Like I try to focus on that. Bad performances, we all have those. I'm really forgetful. So I forget a lot of lyrics. It's bad. I feel like Patti LaBelle with the teleprompter. Like I need it. Like I'm like, I wrote the song and I still don't know the words. Like it's bad. So like sometimes remembering a lot of things. So there's moments where I've made up my own words out of my own songs or other people's. And there's also times where like, I remember once we got invited to sing. It was me and another artist. We got invited to sing at a gallery, an art gallery, and the curator who was there, who pretty much hired us to sing, got really drunk at his own art gallery, and in the middle of me singing just starts like singing along really loud and off key, and I'm just like, and there was a moment, I think it's on YouTube, so there was a moment where I gave one of those looks of like if I could have shot lasers through my eyes, and the thing that was funny was that I was in a groove. Like the guitar player was on it and I was like, yeah, and I'm singing, I'm like, hey. And then I just hear this voice and I'm just like, and I'm like, David, back to the song. But like, other than that, I mean, I luckily haven't had, knock on something, I haven't had too much crazy, nonsense go on when I sing.
Let's talk about Journey to Love, your new EP that is #3 on iTunes charts. So that's kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about that project, and then also All I Need, which is a song that you performed live Next Sound Studio.
So Journey to Love, the majority of these songs were written probably over 10 years ago, probably about 11, 12 years ago. I was in my first long-term relationship, and it was toxic as hell. Again, what I thought love was supposed to be, it just challenged everything. And so I really tried to chronicle the journey of falling in love, what that looks like, and then as it follows, from the heartbreak to the realizations. And a large part of it that I came to the conclusion during the journey was I wasn't capable of receiving love from somebody else because I really did not love myself. I had no concept of what love of myself was. So a lot of the songs will have these moments where it's really about vulnerability, and these moments where I am relatively ministering to myself, where you will hear very soft vocals and harmonic vocals, which really is a conversation with spirit, a really conversation with self that was happening at the time, but I just wasn't paying attention to it. But it was there, it was very present. And so I made sure to chronicle that as best I can and display that in an amount of 8 songs so that people can really get the journey from beginning to end. All I Need was particularly interesting introspective moment because I realized I had got out this relationship, I was newly single, and I had been having sex with the same person for the longest time, and that's all I knew. So now I'm out kind of and about, and I'm like learning myself all over again. I'm like re-engaging my sexuality, and realized that while I was doing that, I really was also not dealing with my feelings of loneliness and the want for affection and attention. And so I was really distracting myself. And so All I Need is really about, me being a straight up with someone that I'm not looking for a relationship. This is literally, I just need you to help me get through my feelings. And I'm sorry about it, but, but also that vulnerability, that to admit that to yourself, like I am using this to escape from reality and not dealing with my actual issues. And that's what the song really is about, so.
Well, pay attention to the lyrics. Check them out, performing All I Need. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Baby, let me holler at you. There's something we gotta do, but I wanna make things very clear. I'm newly single, babe, but I ain't trying to get back in no thing, but I'm trying to get right into you. I wanna knock on the door, if you let me in. I wanna beat on the walls and get a good ride in. I'm in need of healing, babe. I'm on that Marvin Gaye, so let me know what you wanna do. You're all I need to survive this night. You're all I need to survive this night. Although I'm down to do this again, I'm okay with a one-night stand, as long as we stay on the same page. To the recent history, we can't allow this to be getting caught in our feelings. 'Cause if it's loving you need, I'm here to please. I'm even down on my knees, and you can serve it to me. I'm not trying to think about life. A healthy distraction seems nice, so let me know what you wanna do. You're all I need to survive. You're all I need to survive. There's just too much to unpack in my head. It's much too cold in my home and in my bed. I'm using you and I know it just ain't right. some affection to help me get through this night. 'Cause you're all I need. Yeah. Baby, I wonder I need you to get me through this. Baby, I wonder I need you to get me through this. I need some affection. I need some attention. So tired, so tired of being by myself. Oh, I'd rather be inside of somebody else. Hey, yeah. Oh.
If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and let's give it up once more for David Sosa. That was a great performance, and we're gonna hear more from him later. But first, here's T-Rex telling us about performing the lyrics to his song, The Storm.
And we also have The Storm is a Ministry.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about The Storm is a Ministry.
The Storm is a Ministry. I started acting about 3 years ago. So I started reaching out to different directors. And I met this director, Akiva. And he was like, Rex, you know what? You have a great voice. Let's try you in acting. So he gave me a small part. It was D.C., it was a Christmas play. Went and did the small part. And he was like, man, you were really good. Everybody really loved you. Let's get you a bigger part. So he did another play called Deep Cover. So I went back to D.C., the DMV area. We did the play a few nights. That went really good. So now me and him have a connection. And you know, whenever he's doing plays, you know, he makes me a part of it. So the last play that I was just in was called The Storm is a Ministry. And Bernie hit me up and he said, Rex, we should do a theme song for the play. And I was like, oh, that'd be dope. Bernie sent me the song back, so I didn't write it. I went recording it, so it was a theme song for the play. And after the play was done, we didn't have it on iTunes or anything, and everybody was just like, Rex, you cannot just let that song just not go anywhere. In the meantime, we're working on the album. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna put this on the album, interlude on the album, and this to get people ready for all the new music that's coming. And I mean, the response that I'm getting from people around the world is crazy. It's just not crazy, it's just beautiful. To inspire and lift up so many different people around the world with music that they can relate to, and that's gonna make them, the messages and things that I've been getting from people all over the world is just crazy. And I'm just glad that God is using me as a vessel to bring whatever I am bringing to make somebody else feel good.
Well, you heard him talk about it. Here he is performing The Storm. Please check him out, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe.
Hallelujah. God, we thank you for the storm. It's a ministry. The storm is a ministry. All these trials come to make me a better me. That's why I fight my battles down on my knees, knowing God will give me the victory. The storm is a ministry, and no matter how impossible it may be, I know God is working behind the scenes. He's working it all out for me. The storm is a ministry. All these trials come to make me a better me. That's why I fight my battles down on my knees, knowing God will give me the victory. The storm is a ministry, and no matter how impossible it may be, I know God is working behind the scenes. He's working it all out for me. The storm is a ministry. The storm is a ministry. It is. It is a ministry. Oh yeah, yes it does.
We saw Ramona dance a little bit in her last performance, but now she's here and she's changing the tempo. We're gonna slow it down and bear it all, showing us her sensual side. First, let's take it to Will to find out more about the lyrics and her story behind her song, Love Under the Sun.
I was at work, it was pouring rain, and all I wanted to do was be in the sun, and I wrote a song. And what happened was, I was supposed to be going into the studio with my dear friend. This is a dual woman produced song. And when I went to my friend's house, I couldn't find the lyrics to the song that we were gonna do. And because I'm who I am, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't find it. What's going on? And she's sitting at the keyboard and she just starts playing what Love Under the Sun is. And all of a sudden, Love Under the Sun appears, what I wrote, and I just started singing. And you, again, that feeling, that organic feeling that you have, that, oh, actually, it's giving me the tingles right now because I just remember that moment very vividly. And we looked at each other and we smiled, and it was like, huh, okay.
That's it.
Yep. So, yeah, and then when we got into the studio, again, I had great instrumentalists, people that I trusted that would do right by the song and that actually enjoyed the song, and what they brought to the table was excellence. And we had so much fun that day in the studio. We had a really good time. I remember that too, again, really vividly. And everybody was smiles and just coming from a good place. So that's why that song is really important. And Love Under the Sun was just such a beautiful, magical, by accident song, I guess, in a way.
Well, check out this beautiful by accident song. No accident that great song was made by any means. No accident at all. Here she is performing Love Under the Sun. Be sure to check us out. I'm about to put on my glasses too because I want to be cool. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah.
tears flowing through your hair. You're like an angel with a halo so bright. Beautiful is an understatement to your description. You made me melt. I wanna make love, love, love under the sun. I wanna show you you're my number one. My number one. Love, love under the sun. I wanna show you you're my number one. Seeing your body makes me weak. Yours connected to mine, press cheek to cheek. You're whispering words that my touch is sensual. Please let this fantasy become to the sun. Show you I wanna make love, love,
Next up, we're excited to have our first live duet performance. But first, here's David Sosa to tell us about collaborating with one of his best friends, Ramona Montanez. Check them out and always be sure to be hitting that subscribe button.
Well, you spoke about Ramona a little earlier, and I know you guys perform Complicated live in Next Sound Studio. So let's talk a little bit about your working relationship with Ramona Montanez.
Yeah, Montanez.
And and the vibe, and y'all's vibe and working in the studio together, and the writing process behind Complicated.
She's an amazing singer and performer. Like, I've known her since I was 15 years old, and we've always melded personality-wise, and even just vocally. We call each other the vocal twins. Like, there's moments where we sang on major recordings to live video, and we can't tell each other's voice apart. We can't tell who was singing which part. And so, like, even at one point when we were rehearsing, we were just like, wait, why does this sound different? And it's because recorded-wise, I took the high and she took the low. And in my mind, I was taking the low. And so we had to switch parts again, because even though we sang it, we forgot who did what. We sounded so similar. So we have a lot of that that goes on. But honestly, like, the vibe was Complicated was literally written at a time when I knew that I had an idea of what love was supposed to be. I had an idea what a relationship was supposed to be. And then when I got in one, I was like, oh, there's a lot more work here. There's a lot more complications than what the initial idea was. And, I had to kind of deconstruct what a relationship really was and what part I really had in it and was being given. And so the song is really like love doesn't have to be complicated, but it does present a lot of complications. And so I wrote the verse, I wrote the first verse and the chorus, and then I knew it was like, this is my first project. I gotta have Ramona on here. I can't have nobody else. And so I hit her up and I'm like, listen, you need to write a second verse because you're gonna sing it differently if you write it than me just writing something for you. Sing from your own experience. Like, what situation have you been in that you felt this? And so she did, and she came to the house, she sang it. We sat there and we wrote the bridge together, line by line, figuring out what was gonna make sense flow-wise, and then we just flowed with it, put a voice note, and by the time we went into the studio, it was just like living room time again, just chilling and singing and vibing, and that's what we came up with Complicated, and so. I love it. It's my favorite song on the album, actually.
It is a super amazing song. We hope that you guys enjoy it as much as we do. Complicated. Check them out. This is David Sosa with Ramona Montanez.
This feeling has come over me. It's not what it's supposed to be, and I'm in the days. We both died and loved on her when we moved too soon, and I'm confused. Is this just a phase? Want to believe we'll make it through, survive this just like lovers do, but I'm not so sure. I'm feeling like we've given all that we could give, and I'm here waiting and wanting more. I spent all this time, thought this was the goal. I swore we were two parts of one whole. I wished and I prayed to avoid this day, but I won't invest in illusions at best and keep loving this way. It's complicated, complicated, complicated. It's complicated, complicated, complicated.
It's hard to believe we're in this place when neither of us wants to stay. It's crazy. We started off so full of life, and now we're dying daily. In love with love, living a lie, and now I can't look you in the eye. What happened? Hard to accept the consequence of ignoring the evidence. What happened?
Spent all this time
living in my mind. I needed a love that I could design. Expected for you to fall in line, but that's not fair. I won't dare to continue going nowhere. It's complicated, complicated, complicated. It's complicated, complicated, complicated.
I can't live my life in ifs and maybes. Do we stay and fight, or have we become lazy? We're going in circles with no end in sight. We did all that we can. I hope you understand and keep things this way. I don't wanna leave, but I have to choose me. We both deserve to be happy, 'cause holding on seems too hard, and we'll walk away with peace in our heart. Love don't need to be complicated.
Complicated.
We hope that you enjoyed all the performances so far tonight and have already subscribed to our page. If not, hit that red button. It says subscribe. It was a pleasure hosting tonight's show. Be on the lookout for my album entitled Rose Up, releasing within the first quarter of this year. I opened up the show with Shot Clock, and I blessed episode 3 with a couple gems. Follow me on all social media platforms, Mr. Sly Spitta. Can't wait to see y'all on the other side. Don't dare that Rose Up. That's not it. We have one more performance to close out tonight's show, and it's a duo. We have Terrell T-Rex Simon featuring Seda with Shine. Here's T-Rex to take us through the musical process of how this song came to be. It was my pleasure hosting tonight's show. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Tell someone about us, and we'll see you on our next episode.
Speaking of being relatable and fusing all your music together, Shine, one of your newer tracks.
Yes.
You performed that also with Seda live at Next Sound Studio. So talk to us a little bit about Shine and that song and what that song means to you. Also, you have a video for that song, I believe.
Yep.
Shooting a music video. How was that process for you? Talk to us about
Bernie
that.
Stevenson, who produced it and wrote it. Bernie, I've only worked with one producer. He did all my songs, except for the few Lamar did on New Beginnings. And that's how it came out. And at the time, it was what I was going through. Crazy problems behind the scenes, but nobody knows. I'm still coming out, smiling, making people laugh, bigging people up, giving people love, joy. Regardless of what I was going through, you would never know. Shine, I'm still shining. And that's what the song was about. And that's what I was going through. And that's what I wanted to let people hear. And I know people also probably doing the same, going through the same thing I was.
Put on a happy face.
Yeah!
You got to, though. You have to.
Put on the happy face. And in the midst of my trials, storms, I'm shining. I'm live. So big up to that song, man. And you know what? It's becoming bigger and bigger. Slowly. You know, Shine wasn't a record that just hit me like the storm hits me. Shine. But the more I hear it, the more I vibe with it, the more people are hearing it. That's becoming like a big record.
Even the way that the melody is shine,
Woo!
It sticks with you. It sticks in your head
it's a
all
big
day.
record,
So
man.
like you step in a puddle of water, you like shine.
And it got the hip hop. The beat is so, it's the whole element of the whole song. The beat, the vocals, just the whole swag of it is just amazing.
I think
Shine.
so too. So hopefully you all out there will
Yeah,
enjoy
go get it.
just as much as we do here.
Sometimes I think I can't take any more weight. I might even bend, but I won't break. Cause when I pick my head up, I find the strength to get up. Then I'm back in the race. You know what I'm saying? I keep fighting, I push, I grind. Cause I know God will give me what's mine. And if I get knocked down, I'll rise. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Let's take it to the studio where he performed Shine, also featuring Seda. We'll be back.
What up, y'all? We gon' shine. Hey, hey. Let's go. Shine in the midst of my trials. Hey, shine when I'm going through my struggles. Shine, I'm still gonna shine. I'm still gonna shine. I'm still gonna shine. Sometimes I think I can't take any more weight. I might even bend, but I won't break. Cause when I pick my head up, I find the strength to get up. Then I'm back in the race. I keep fighting, I push, I cry. Hey, cause I know God will give me what's mine. And if I get knocked down, I'll rise. Yeah. And no matter how hard this world gets, see, I won't never let it change who I am. No, no, no. Cause there's a life that lives inside of me that won't ever give up, no. Won't ever, ever, ever give up, no. Shine in the midst of my trials. Hey, shine when I'm going through my struggles. Shine, hey, I'm still gonna shine. Rex is still gonna shine. I'm still gonna shine. Like a day of sun when the day breaks. Be shining every second that I'm awake. I'll be on this grind, breaking through these walls of pain. I keep fighting, hey, cause I know God will give me what's mine. And if I get knocked down, I'll rise, yeah. And no matter how hard this world gets, see, I won't never let it change who I am. No, no, no. Cause there's a life that lives inside of me that won't ever give up, no. Won't ever, ever, ever give up, no. Shine in the midst of my trials. Hey, shine when I'm going through my struggle. Shine, I'm still gonna shine. I'm still gonna shine. We got Tisha there in the building. Shine. See, I'm still gonna shine, even in the middle of the darkness, when the whole world's looking mad heartless. In my wildest, I never would've thought this. Lord, I need a break. What's it gonna take? Gotta be strong, even in your heartbreak. So I'm challenging one and all to partake and let your light shine brighter than the sun. Let the enemy know we won't be outdone. No, I wanna live a good life with my good light shining over everybody in the good fight. Yes, we come to pick it up and not pick it apart. We gotta teach it with it. Everybody's coming to get their heart blessed. The whole world need it. The shine high beaming. So party with the team. This how we conquer demons, and you don't get to see us sweat. We gon' shine through it all, baby, never forget. Shine in the midst of my trials. Hey, shine when I'm going through my struggles. I am. Hey, I'm still gonna shine. Said I'm still gonna shine. Hey, hey, yeah. Hey, listen, don't let nobody steal your shine. I will. In the midst of your troubles, you ought to shine. Oh, shine. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, oh, no, no. Hey, shine. Shine. You ought to shine, yeah. Hey, shine.
If you came to party, if you came to party, if you came to get down tonight, get down tonight. We going live tonight, live from the next sound studio. Tryna party and celebrate life. Tune in the next sound studio tonight. It's live at 8 with the hottest in the state. So tell a friend you wanna take them out of space so they can unplug to a new level with different artists who take